So how's everybody doing this morning? I hope you're doing fine. So today we're going to talk to you about Highland cows a little bit. Well, we're going to actually look at the cows. I'm going to talk to you about fish. And we're going to talk about prostate cancer. So hang in there. We're going to have a good day today. Get the cows all to get up here. And we'll get them some food and see what's going on. All right, let's give this a shot. Kev, come on, Kev, come on. Now you watch Aloha there. She's in the distance. She'll be coming up. Kev, come on. Frank, he's over here in this grass. But I got treats for him, and they will love treats. Aloha's the big cow. She's a 7-year-old bred cow. She did have a calf in October, I believe. Looky there, here they come. Come on, Kev. That's Izzy and Rosie. Kev, come on. Here you go. Looky there. She's gonna take that treat right out of my hand. And now, she's kind of a bully. She thinks when treats show up, she ought to get the treats. You dropped it. Now, she likes treats. She don't like to be pet, though. Now, see? So here we go. There we go. All right. And then we got Izzy here. She's the smaller one. She likes treats. And Rosie. Frank hasn't come up for any treats yet. I don't know what's going on. Here you go. There you are. Yeah. Go. Here you go, Rosie. These girls, they want them treats right away. Now, these cows are not related. These two come from a place south of here. And I got them to start my herd with. I plan on being around for some time. And we're going to build our herd slow and easy. But Al, she's kind of what you call a twofer. She's a bred cow. Cost to her was reasonable. And so she will increase our herd size this year even. Frank, he's what you call a steer. In case you don't know what a steer is, folks, it's a male that's been castrated. Missing these male parts. He can't reproduce. Typically they're used for meat. In this particular situation, Frank was purchased to keep Al company because Highlands are social critters. They don't want to be alone. And so when Al was brought here, she needed a companion. So that's how Frank ended up here. And it's worked out pretty good. So, well, cows are all doing good. It's like their water tank got plenty of water in it. And this is a trough. I put some dry hay in once in a while, but Most of the time I put mineral in. Looks like from the rain yesterday our drain hole's plugged up. Probably because of hay I put in. So we'll get it unplugged here. Somewhere. And these cows, they get some mineral. Mineral's usually free feed. What I really need to do is construct a roof over this so that the rain don't get in the mineral. It's kind of a learning process as I go along, and we're learning quite a bit. So today, guys, we've got fish coming. Well, we got to go pick up the fish. I'll tell you a little more about that here in a second. We bought fish to stock our pond with. Now, the fish we bought catfish, we bought bass, and we bought some bluegill sunfish. This pond was here on this farm when we bought it, but it was silted all in around the edges, and so we had to clean it out, or we had to hire somebody to come clean it out with a bulldozer. I'm going to take you down in the pond here in a little bit because we got to get some water out of the pond. You're supposed to show up to buy those fish. When you show up to buy those fish, you're supposed to bring pond water out of your pond. No well water, no city water for sure, because it's all got chlorine in it. And we're going to take you down to the pond, show you the way down there, and talk to you a little bit about prostate cancer. I know that's probably not a topic anybody really wants to talk about, but I think it's pretty important if I can use this platform to urge somebody to do something. So I get the truck out here and we'll head down towards the pond. Guys, if you like our content or like what we're doing here, please like and subscribe.
Connected to your phone and is
leave us some comments down below. Give us some comments what you'd like to see here on the farm. We're really just kind of getting started, so we're kind of curious what everybody'd like. There's Frank. He's come back out here, this little area next to the garage and shop that I've fenced in to keep him in some grass. We've had a little problem with the grass growing. It's been awful dry this winter and this spring. We're just kind of waiting on the grass to grow up. We've been feeding hay in that pasture out here where I was giving them all treats, and they've been eating the grass as it grows up there, but we've got to be moving them to other pastures so that they can get the grass ate. Usually the pastures that we move them to, depending on the size that we've fenced off, it may be 30 days, it may just be 2 or 3 days that they're there. We've got a lot of silvo pasture we've been creating in this timber up here. It may not look like it from the timber's edge, but we've been doing it. It's been long hard work. I do it with just my grandkids, an 8-year-old grandson and a 10-year-old granddaughter and a 16-year-old grandson. So they live here with their mom on the place in this little cabin that my son actually built. that's another story for another day. But we're headed down to the pond, and we'll get to talking a little bit here about prostate cancer. You see, about 2021, my wife and I both worked in Springfield, Missouri at the time I was diagnosed with my stage 4 prostate cancer. And so we started looking for properties that already had a house or a cabin on them. You can see, I don't know if I can zoom in or not, that house right down there, nice little house. I'll try to get a better shot of it later. We found it. We weren't the first ones to put an offer on it, because that was during COVID. There was people from all over the freaking country that were here in Missouri, South Central, Southwest Missouri, and Arkansas, trying to buy property, getting out of the big cities, coming in from the West Coast and the East Coast. They drove prices up, which it was okay. My wife and I were financially stable, and luckily I had good insurance, so I got to use my insurance to deal with the prostate cancer. And that was all good. Yeah, and I know some of you may comment, I need to clean my window. Got bug crap all over it. So this pasture here that we're in now is one we've been up in there cutting quite a bit of stuff as well lately. It's not finished, so I don't have a gate here. I'm just driving between the two fence posts. But we got to come down through here, and this is what we're going to try to utilize as a hay pasture. We get enough moisture, and I get a hay baler bought for a reasonable price. And we will hopefully bale enough hay off of here to help feed our cows over the winter time. If not, well, we may end up buying some hay, but that's all right. We can do that too. Now down here, you're going to see the money mess. I mean, part of this is on me. I told the fellow that cleaned the pond out he didn't need to bring a dump truck in and haul this stuff off. I told him that, I could use that. I'm figuring that should be pretty rich, fertile soil, and I can use that on my garden. And we'll talk about the garden on another day. Anyhow, back to the prostate cancer story. I got diagnosed. We found this place. It's 42 acres. We actually found it on the internet the day it was listed, and we were the third person to talk to the realtor about it, so that was kind of interesting. We did obviously end up buying it. So I had a doctor's appointment after we came out and looked at this, and I asked my doctor, I said, what are your thoughts? And I had been responding to the treatments pretty well, and my doctor said, and I'm going to quote her word for word. She said anybody else she would tell that they needed to think twice about it, but she would tell me that I should go for it. So going for it's what we did, and I'm very happy. Several years throughout my lifetime, I've tried to buy a farm. I was raised on a farm as a young kid. I ain't no spring chicken no more, obviously. And so we bought this place. Here we are. So this pond was silted in all the way around when we bought it. Last year we had a young man in the business excavation come and clean it out, and I don't have equipment enough to do that. And he got this all cleaned out. I wanted him to make it bigger, but as you can see right here, we got some pretty big rocks in the spillway. And he said this is on a big glade rock, and he didn't think the pond would hold water if he tried making it bigger because of the rock that's underneath. And so he did what he could, expanded it up that way a little bit. He did do that, and right up in there, I don't know if you can see right in there, there's a spring. This pond is spring fed. All the years we've been here, all the droughts we've seen in the summertime, this pond has always run water out of it. So that's a pretty daggone good spring. Right now, I need to go shut that dinger off on that truck. Right now we're trying to restock this thing with fish. There was not any fish in it, surprisingly enough. I know there was when we first bought it, because my grandson caught a nice 10-12 inch bass out of it when we first bought it. But wasn't none in it when he pushed it all out, unless they were just buried in the mud when he pushed it out. Now this here's clay. This pile is clay. Yeah, there's a lot of rocks in it. You're gonna have that in Missouri. And he did tell me that I could fill this in across here a little more if I felt like it, that I wanted it a little deeper. And I think we're going to over the summer. And we've had some rains here recently, so it's got to dry up a little bit. Now folks, we've got to have, for the number of fish we got, we've got to bring water out of the pond that they're going in, and we've got to bring 40 gallon of water for the catfish, and I think it's about 20 gallon for, or no, yeah, it's about 20 gallon for all the other fish. So we're gonna dip all this water out of here, put it in some tubs we got in the back of the truck here. We gotta be there in a little over an hour, pick them fish up. Now, you might fall over here, I don't know. This stick, all kind of new to me. And we're gonna try it. You probably won't be able to hear me too well, because I do not have a microphone yet. But when we edit this, we'll try to provide some context. But remember, if you do like this content, please like, subscribe, leave us comments, leave us some comments of what you'd like to see, and we'll try to do all that with it within our normal routine. We're not gonna create routines for content. We're just gonna do our normal everyday things for content. So Hang on, it's going to be a fun ride. All right, folks, I think we got plenty of water here. You see in there, this container here holds about 27 gallon. It's about half full. One behind it's the same. I believe this one holds 50. And we don't need quite that much water. I had written down, I think we need, what is it here? Let's look at our notepad. We need 6 gallon for the catfish. We're getting 30 of those. We need 25 gallon for the bluegill sunfish. We're getting 250 of those. And we need 2 gallon for the bass, and we're getting 20 of those. So we should be in good shape on water. We should have plenty of extra. All right, so now we're gonna drive back out of here. We have to close them gates as we go. But I wanted to talk to you all just a little bit more about the prostate cancer. Anyway, I come through all those chemo treatments with flying colors, but they did slow me down some. I don't move near as fast as I used to. But because this had always been a dream of mine to farm, that's why we're doing this. And I have the support of my wife and my entire family. Enough support that they all come and help when I need help with things like building fence and doing some repairs. And let me tell you, we've been building a lot of fence. The perimeter fences on this place were basically non-existent. They'd been let go
Sync has connected
And,
to your phone and is reminding you that 911 assist is set to off.
That's my truck connecting to my phone. But they had just let the fences go. So we ended up building all new fences. This pasture here was just completely overgrown with briars. And I got on my little tractor with a brush hog mower that year I was doing chemo. And every weekend I was out here mowing the briars and multiflora rows off. I was doing it on days after chemotherapy treatment. I did not miss any work to speak of. I was still working then. I worked for a community action agency, Ozark Area Community Action Agency in Springfield. If y'all don't know what a community action agency is, look it up. They do a lot of good work for folks. But anyway, I didn't miss hardly any work. I'd do my chemotherapy treatment early in the morning, and then I'd go to work. My wife would stay there while I did chemotherapy, but at that time, they wouldn't let her come in. Normally they let you come in when you're doing chemotherapy, but if y'all remember 2021, that was during COVID, so they didn't let anybody in there with the chemotherapy stuff if and unless they were getting chemotherapy. So that's how that all turned out. But anyway, I come through that with flying colors. All my blood work and the numbers that they look for have stayed where they need to stay. And doctor's pretty proud of me. She wanted to see pictures of the fluffy cows, the Highlands. So I did happen to have some on there. I go every 3 months now for blood work. And then I get what's called a Zometa infusion and an Eligard shot. Now the Zometa infusion is for bone strength, because the cancer had metastasized, which means it spread. It had spread to the left hemisphere of my pelvic cage. Now, when we first discovered that, my doctor said I was weird because that's the only place that it had spread to. After doing a little research, I'd guess she's pretty close to being right. Most people's cancer, when it metastasizes, goes up into the rib cage, into the spine, into other organs, and mine did not. So anyway, I have a little problem with my left leg now, but other than that, I usually do pretty good. And so this last Wednesday was my 3-month checkup treatment, and so it's been about 2 days since then, and usually 2 days after those treatments my joints ache and hurt. That's kind of what I'm experiencing right now, but I'm living a good life out here, and I don't expect anything to change. All my blood work and everything's still where it's supposed to be, and we're still, I don't know that you call it cancer free, because the cancer, as my doctor said, had metastasized. So it's really not a question of if it comes back, it's a question of when. I think the good Lord's taking care of that for me. I honestly believe that through God, everything's possible, and through God guiding her hand, we've successfully treated it. Here's some more. We've cut fence line up there, and you kind of look way up there. You can see where we've opened up areas in the timber. We're going to come back down here and cut most of these cedars out here. Cedars are kind of an invasive species here in southwest Missouri, or south central Missouri too. Back years ago, when they cut all the oaks, cedars kind of moved in and took things over. But anyway, my cancer is being held at bay. It causes me to be a little slower, a little more thoughtful about things, I guess you'd say. Where I don't just jump in head first, which is probably a good thing. And being out here on the farm keeps me active and keeps me moving. And now that I got cows to take care of, I definitely stay more active. So we have this all the time. Now there goes my youngest grandson on where he's going. But he's running off down through there. Make sure you close that gate if you go through. He has a tendency to not close gates back up. And that tends to be a little bit of a problem. Yeah, for those of you that are familiar with the fence, I do need to saw the tops of those corner posts off. They're a little too tall. And we'll get her all done. Cows are up here in the shade already. It's shaping up to be kind of a humid day with the rain that we had. They're up here laying down, chewing their cud. They enjoy being up here. We'll have shade for them on almost every place we got. Now, as far as the pond, no, we will not allow them access to the pond. We've got the ability to pump water out of the pond if we need to get water to them, which is fine. Over in here, this is our sawmill. It's an old Foley bell saw. We sawed all them posts that is underneath there. We didn't saw the 2-inch material support up on the roof because we just didn't have enough stuff cut to do it. We've got a small walnut log laying up there. It's one we had to cut down that was in our way. So here before long we're going to get out here and try to saw that into 1-inch thick material, and we will show you when we do that, how we do that. In another lifetime I did collect antique tractors, and I got these two still that I need to get to working on, so we'll probably have videos showing that. Over here where we fenced off next to the big building, we do have some oak logs laying because I've got a 20-foot flatbed trailer that needs new boards on it, so we're going to have to get them logs sawed up, get some new boards on that trailer. So we'll give you a ride out here pretty shortly, show you what the drive looks like, And it ain't pretty, but it works, and it keeps us kind of in solitude here. Okay, so to give y'all a little perspective on this, we've got 41, almost 42 acres here. We're at the very west end where the house is, and almost right down the middle. So we get to our property line, we've got a neighbor we've got to drive across 19 acres of. We've got a recorded easement for that. But that makes our driveway about a half a mile long. It's a little bit of a booger to maintain. It don't look perfect. It don't ride perfect. And we're going to give you a little idea of the drive up out of here. It is peaceful down here though, quiet and solitude. We come out on a state highway when we get up the top of the hill. We don't get much traffic down here. We don't get people down here not knowing where they're going. I wouldn't say never. It's happened a couple of times. They get down here, they get back to the house, they realize that they're lost. So that doesn't work out well for them. Right over here on this side is where we grow the sorghum. We're going to expand that a little bit. We're going to take all these cedars out so we can plow that up and come out to the top of that ridge there on the ditch bank. Shouldn't cause any erosion, not the way we've got planned to do it, so it ought to be good and interesting. Give us a little extra sorghum, give us a little extra income because we can sell that syrup. This is where we've started clear cutting along the northeastern fence line. Fence is in pretty good shape there. It's just all overgrown, and we'd like to be able to get down that with a brush hog, cut all the brambles out. But once we get the cows turned into a section over here, they'll probably keep it all down. Now, right now we're on the easement portion of our driveway, headed up. When we get a little snow, it's not that bad to plow it off. I've got a plow on my WD Alice Chalmers, an old snap coupler plow. Works pretty good. I do have a blade coming for my 190 XT. Yeah, it's an Alice Chalmers also. Got lots of old equipment. Newest piece of equipment I've got is an Kubota BX23 60 subcompact tractor. Believe it or not, that little subcompact tractor is probably my main tractor. It's just too much of a pain in the butt to use the bigger tractors. The 190 XT has got a loader on it, but so does the little Kubota. And most of the stuff that I need to move, that little Kubota will move. It'd be nice to have a newer tractor, but you know, you do what you can afford to do. We have done everything here debt-free, no payments on anything. We did work the Dave Ramsey plan for several years, so that was beneficial to us when we bought this place. So we just enjoy it out here. It's peaceful, it's quiet. Other than when the grandkids get a little rowdy, we just enjoy the solitude. My wife, she still works. She drives Springfield every day, which is about an hour drive, but she's planning on retiring in 2 or 3 years. So there is that. And well, we're off to pick up the fish now. Get turned out on the highway here. I'm not gonna bore you all with the drive into the feed store to pick up the fish. And that's to the south and that's to the north. This is truly God's country. try this again and see what happens. Weren't any fish in that bucket of water, so we got plenty of water for these. 250 bluegill, sunfish. We may have to scoop quite a bit of water to get them. There's several little fish there. You're gonna go on out. Tub down here. Kind of give you all an idea about how big these fish are, maybe, or how little they are. Of those little guys. All right. And they all seem to be swimming off and doing all right. Ones we got are some largemouth bass. They're not real big. Got about 20 of them, I think. And see if I got any in that bucket. Probably not. Yeah, don't look like I got any of them in there. Well, let's see if we can get this tub over there. There we go. Oh, those are the channel cat, I guess. I got the channel capping off the bass. Only about 4 inches long. They should get along in this pond just fine. Be a year or two before we can go fishing. But I see we got a couple escape here in the overflow. Get him out there. Get that one out there. I don't think there's any more. I may have to pile some rock up here. Maybe to keep them from swimming out into the overflow. So it looks like what we got left to put in are the bass. I'll have to see if I can get them out. They're in this tub here. Move his tub around at the same time. But I think we're getting it. Doing all right so far, I think. Let's see if we can set this up where y'all can see what we're doing. This foam just a little top heavy for this stick, and we got a good breeze blowing down here, and it wants to keep blowing it over. Got most of them dumped out. Got a few left in here, kind of show you. These bass, they ain't real big either. So it'll be a couple years before they're ready to fish out of this pond. But this ought to provide some entertainment for the kids, grandkids, everybody. Make sure we got them all in there. We got one that's kind of trapped here in a footprint. There he goes. And you guys ought to do pretty good in this pond. It's got fresh water coming in all the time. There seem to be a lot of tadpoles in here, so a lot of food for the fish. So thanks for joining us for now, and